All right, welcome into Are You Cirrus? Episode 4. We are...
I'm sitting here on my phone. I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Here we are. Let's go.
We are not canceled. Is
Not
what
canceled
you always
again.
say.
Yes.
I'm really excited for this episode because we're going to talk about the history of WMBF news.
Yeah.
I only know 4 years of it.
Yep.
But I know a little bit. But before we do so, because we are now podcast professionals.
Yes, we are absolutely podcast professionals. I mean, we've got this thing figured out and nailed, and we are doing it.
You can... I'm just trying to think. You can like on YouTube.
And rate.
And rate on Spotify and Apple.
Yes.
I think I said it right.
Yep.
And then share all of it.
Share all of it, and we have a playlist.
Yes.
Now, so if this is your first one, you're like, these guys are so amazing. I want to go back and listen to all of the previous podcasts, which is just 3. You can go back and do that.
My mom might be the only one that says that about us. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know who is watching, but if you really do enjoy this, you sharing this opens it up to your demographic.
It does.
There's some weird algorithms that we don't know enough about that it helps us. So.
And give us a follow on Twitter and Facebook.
Yes.
We're both pretty friendly people, I think, most of the time. At least you are. And we love to hear from you.
Episode,
that was not a rant. That was maybe a little tea. If you want me, we were just laughing. We can do Are You Cirrus After Dark, and that's where I'll go on my rant.
Oh, and that's where we'll have our highest viewed episode.
I'm sure,
to date.
and I would probably lose my job.
I do want to ask. We had 2 new viewer questions, which we love. I don't even think we said that in the last episode. If you have a question, we want to hear it. This is kind of what this is for. You know, what's the craziest weather event you've ever covered? Whatever. Yeah. We have 2, though, and I'm excited about these. Okay. Paula asked, how do they name hurricanes? Already thinking about hurricane season. Yeah. I love it. Paula, thank you. It is the World Meteorological Organization.
Yep.
6 years?
Every 6 years.
Every 6 years, the list rotates.
Yeah, so there's 6 lists of names, and that list rotates every 6 years. So it's 2023. 6 years from now, 2029, we'll be using the same list of names that we're using this year because there's only so many names. You can't have a fresh list of brand new names every year. And then, of course, if it's a big storm, a lot of deaths, incredible damage, that name will be retired and replaced with a new one.
And replaced. Emily, if you're listening, my wife's name is on the list this year.
Ooh.
So
watch out.
Don't cause too much chaos, Emily, because we know what that could lead to. I do want to say, Paula, thank you for the question. Aaron asked a fun one, and we may have differing answers. I don't know. What's more complicated to forecast? I think he put /track. Tropical weather or winter weather? And I'm assuming he means hurricanes.
Yeah. Locally, winter weather.
Yeah.
Winter weather. Obviously, the tropics has its own set of challenges, but winter weather.
Yeah.
You know, it comes down to so last minute and just minute details here that make or break whether or not we see winter weather. You can kind of follow the trends on tropical systems over the course of a couple of days. You know, we've had forecasts fall apart literally hours out from winter weather here.
Or within the hour.
Within the hour, but literally because of a degree or less moisture or more moisture. So, yeah, absolutely winter weather.
And I'll tell you this, even coming from the mountains in eastern Kentucky, we talked about our history. If you missed that episode, basically where we've been, you can go on our playlist now and get that. But in the mountains, you would think, oh, it's easy to forecast some snow.
Yeah. Nope.
No. Snow for me will always be the hardest thing to forecast because even if you know you're going to get snow, then the question everyone wants to know as a viewer, how much?
How much? Which is even more difficult than is it going to snow, I think. They would give forecasting amounts.
Because it's all on the temperature profile, and we could dive into that for winter weather if we ever were giving the opportunity. I would love to bring on in the winter, too, someone who just loves snow and just be like,
I'll do it.
Well,
not me.
Someone else.
Not me, somebody else.
And then we could pick their brain and be like, hey. But
I had a professor in college.
So tough.
I probably maybe would have been more appropriate for the last episode, but I had a professor in college, Dr. Susan Marshall, and her PhD was in snow, and she was a snow fanatic, and she had an entire textbook about nothing but snow, and I took her class, and it was just fascinating. Everything you could ever want to know about snow.
Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing.
There was a couple of forecasting books. I can't remember the author. Velasquez. He did severe weather forecasting. I think he has a snow one out too. And it's like teaching you the tricks and tips.
Yep.
That goes a long way. Of course, every trick and tip is different in every region. But Aaron, to answer your question, winter weather, 100%.
Winter weather, and I think you ask anybody around here, and they're probably going to say that.
I think most meteorologists would say that, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
What's the easiest for you? Obviously, sunny days don't count. What's the one that you're kind of like, if I had to pick, this is my strong suit, what do you think it is?
Severe weather.
Oh, me too.
Severe
Good.
weather.
Yeah, we're two peas in a
Yeah.
pod.
Yeah.
Thought so. Question of the week. I'm excited about this one. This came from a viewer question to me like a month ago, and I knew we were doing a podcast because I think I did something like, I don't know, it was one of those like Tie Tuesday things, but it was on my poll. I was like, what questions do you want me to ask? And this person, I can't remember their name, I'm sorry, said, Andrew, I was curious, you wake up so early. If you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine to help you, what would it be? So I'm going to tweak that question a little bit and say, if you can eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be, Jamie?
Well, no, I want to go back to yours. What was yours?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
I don't either.
Part of me thinks one thing I would eliminate would be the nap.
Why? That's the best part of my day.
Or shorten my nap, because that nap can get carried away.
They can't get carried away. But naps are fun.
Either
what
that
could I eliminate?
Or the need for coffee. I wish I could not, but I love coffee.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the sort of the minutia little details of like filling in numbers on graphics.
Oh, so you're going into work day. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going into the work day. Yeah, it's just.
I'm going to have a hot take.
Yeah, it's
radio.
Quick, it's quick and easy. I was going to say radio, but I didn't want to.
I love our partners.
Love our partners, but radio is just, it's like.
It's so tough.
It literally takes a minute to do, but I dread it every single day. I'm so glad you said it. I'm so relieved. Radio.
I love our partners.
Love our partners.
But it is, you have to get up out of your chair.
Move.
The number part was probably a close second. So yeah, if we're talking work, for sure radio, then that. And the reason is we have to go into a separate room.
Yeah.
We have to then record in a edit bay.
Yeah.
Half the time for me, my audio sounds awful.
Yeah.
So then I have to troubleshoot because no one's here at 2 a.m.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, what am I doing? And then you have to export it the right way.
Right. And then you have to get up and walk out of the edit bay 4 steps down to the office.
And then send it.
And then you have to email them. The whole process takes like 3 minutes. And I would eliminate it in a heartbeat if I could.
There was a station that I interned at. It was Wave 3 in Louisville. They literally just had like a producer at the radio station like, hey, we got a weather hit coming up.
Yeah.
And they would just slide over and pull the mic down. We need that. To where
I'd
you
miss
just...
it.
You
To do them live?
Yeah.
No. No, that would be awful. That would be
For
awful.
you, for sure.
That
But
would
if
mess
it-
up a
if-
nap or
if-
something. No, not doing it.
Which we do have a new weather office, by the way. We can talk more about that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff to get to. We're talking about WMBF News.
WMBF News, Myrtle Beach, Florence.
Or as we tell the kids all the time, we make best friends.
We make best friends. Yeah, kids love that when they come for a tour.
They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
080808.
8808. We are a baby station. We're a really brand new, in the grand scheme of things, brand new TV station. Still, at 16 years old, we're still a baby.
So I think it was Ted Fortenberry.
Ted Fortenberry was the general manager at the time. And sort of the way it happened was Myrtle Beach, this market into Florence, South Carolina. For those of you watching from elsewhere, we're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Iowa, Montana.
Iowa and Montana. This television market had always, since the 50s, just had an ABC affiliate and a CBS affiliate. And if you ever wanted to watch NBC programming or NBC News, you either got it from Wilmington, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, west of us, or south of us from Charleston. Raycom, who was our parent company at the time, sort of noticed that gap. And the original plan was just to build a bureau here for the Columbia station. So WIS, which is our sister station in Columbia, they would have a Myrtle Beach bureau because obviously there's a lot of news that happens around here. As the story was told, as they went sort of into the process of planning it, it was like, you know what, if we're going to spend this much money, why don't we build a brand new station instead of just a bureau? There's a need, there's a gap in the market. So that is how we ended up as a brand new news station here in Myrtle Beach.
And when you came from WITN.
I came from WITN, which was a couple hours up Highway 17.
What was it like coming from an established news station to something new and fresh?
It was crazy. We were literally, so we launched on August 8th, 2008. I started in June. We weren't even in this building yet. We were still in a temporary office. The studio was still being constructed. Me and the weather team were literally picking out everything from scratch. Which sunshine do we want to use on the 7-day? Which backgrounds do we want to use? It was every little detail we were taking care of, and that really appealed to me. That was exciting.
Yeah.
It was such an exciting time.
You get to make your craft. I got to do that in Hazard when I took over at Chief for the studio revamp and graphics revamp.
Yeah.
We did it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because it happened to me.
Yep.
You make all your selections for the launch.
Yep.
How quickly after you made everything were you like,
Pretty quick. I get bored.
Me too.
Yeah, I get bored. I get bored really easy. And our first look, weather and news, was awful. Everything was red. Everything was red. It was this red background, and it had like almost looked like a siren behind it, which I guess the buzz at the time was, breaking and, red. Everything was red. And I mean bright red. In your face, ambulance red. Yeah, that was tough.
and now we only go red.
Now red, you see red,
sure.
so
Weather day, breaking
yeah,
news.
there's something going on. Yeah.
So I have to ask,
Yep.
2008, where are we, 23?
Yeah, 23.
Favorite moments or
Favorite
memories
moments.
or
Favorite
people
memory.
you've worked with?
The launch day was pretty good. It was a big day. We got like a shout out from the Today Show, and Al Roker was like, and now for the very first time, let's get a check of your forecast from brand new WMBF News in Myrtle Beach. So it was just a lot of excitement that day, and lots of food, and everybody was here, and it was a big deal,
Yeah.
Nobody knew who we were. Nobody was watching, so that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So definitely launch day. Some of my favorite memories from here are the big events that we've covered.
Yeah.
I know they're tiring and exhausting, but there's nothing like a good hurricane to kind of bring the team together and make for good memories. And it's especially for me, the number one that still sticks out is Matthew. That was like the first big hurricane that we covered. We'd had some little ones before, but Matthew was a big one. So it's all the big events.
And what's crazy is even now, in my time at WMBF News, we've changed a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Which, great management. They're pumping in some money, which we love. This right here used to be our weather center.
Yeah. This is the old weather center. This is where we spent 14 years.
Yeah.
14 years was kind of right here in the weather center in the old
Do you
studio.
miss being in the newsroom?
No.
Me either.
I thought I would. Our old studio used to be right in the middle of the newsroom. And you could kind of yell and hear everybody and see everything going on behind you. Now we're just kind of tucked away and by ourselves.
I think Robert called it like the jazz club or something.
Yeah,
because you could put some music on in the background
it's
for
good.
sure. I have to ask, former meteorologists, keep up with any of them?
I'm terrible at keeping up with people, though.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I'm terrible with keeping up with people, but doesn't mean I don't care for them any less. Our very first morning meteorologist here, her name was Katie Morgan.
Okay.
She was the very first person on the air for that Today Show cut-in on 8808. She was here for a couple of years. She is now the chief meteorologist at the Fox station in Nashville.
Yep, I follow Katie.
Yeah, Katie, expecting a baby, and married Tom, who also worked here. And Tom was a director, and they got married shortly after moving to Nashville, and I think they both work at the same station now in Nashville as well. Yeah. The big one that we always get questions about, and we always laugh about it, Marla. Marla Branson came in. She replaced Katie Morgan as the morning meteorologist, and Marla was just one of the best people you could ever meet. Kind of like the female version of you, I say a lot. Just down to earth, lovable, beautiful, always had a smile on her face, did mornings for years, and just had a loyal audience. She's been gone
awesome.
4 years now.
Four.
People are still asking, where's Marla?
Yeah.
How's Marla doing? And Marla's doing great. Marla got out of the business. She has 2 beautiful kids. Also married a WMBF employee.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of relationships that have started here. She's married to Michael, who was our chief photographer for a very, very long time, and they are now living happily in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as far as Myrtle Beach goes, with all the changes, what do you think for WMBF News? I'm just trying to think because we always hear it. It's tough. We live in a business, right, where when people leave, they get upset. It's like, oh, why did... It's not our call, and you can't feel bad about them, too. That's just the nature of the business. Yeah. But what were some of the more memorable ones that stayed a little bit longer for you that you're like, oh, man, the way they connected with an audience, I really liked them?
Gosh. Me. No, I'm just kidding.
Me. And granted, longer now is...
longer now is like 3 years. That's not long anymore.
I know.
Yeah, 16 years for me now. Oh my gosh, you put me on the spot with this one.
I know. Obviously, we have Robert.
Robert.
Bob is what we call him.
Yeah, Robert, just a fantastic
Oh,
meteorologist.
so smart.
Just knows his weather and numbers and really good. I don't know.
Think about it.
You're pushing me in a direction, and I'm going to be really embarrassed.
You're fine. For me, I'll say this. The morning show's changed a lot since I've been here. I miss Christelle. I miss
Christelle
Audrey.
Bell.
But
Audrey Bisk.
I think our morning show right now is the best. And you fill in a lot, so you got to feel that environment.
Is that what you were pushing me to say, Lauren and Darion?
No.
I love Lauren and Darion, and I think everybody... Yeah, you guys do have an amazing morning show. Without a doubt, the best team on the morning that we've ever had here, as far as all 3.
Yeah.
So that's,
And people don't realize that it's sometimes hard to get people to gel.
Yeah.
As well. It's like, well, it's just
we've had some teams before that just don't work. Just don't work.
It's part of TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of it. But no, I wasn't trying to get you to push them to say them. I was just curious what you were going to say.
Them. There's plenty of people that I'm happy to have seen leave.
Are there any stories of behind the scenes at WMBF News that you won't get in trouble for telling that you think are like, oh, people have to know this?
Most of them, I would get in trouble. Just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff happens in television. I think it was the last episode where I talked about how I made a lateral move here to do weekends. I was doing weekends. I came here for weekends, and I didn't get a pay raise. I don't know what I was thinking. When I moved here, I thought Myrtle Beach, it'll be fun. Those first 2 years were tough. Were really tough because I did make a lateral move. And I was in a totally different environment and city than what I was used to and what I was kind of comfortable with. There were 2 days that I made it into that front lobby on my way out the door. Was literally walking out of work, quitting. And I stopped myself. Yeah, 2 days. I was like, you can't do this. You gotta tough it out. You gotta stick it out. Maybe during the Are You Cirrus after hours, after dark episodes, we can get into those. But I walked
a can of worms.
Yeah, it was some really crappy management and some really crappy decisions that were made. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. But I didn't. I stopped myself, and it came back.
I could speak for me, and I'll let you say yay or nay. Best management we've had lately.
Yeah.
That I've ever worked for.
Yeah.
I mean, just yes. We'll do this. This was an idea from you and I, and I was like, they're not going to buy into this. There's no way.
Yeah, like, okay, sure.
Here we are.
And that ties into one of my favorite things about WMBF and being such a baby station is in this market, when we launched 16 years ago, we were up against 2 powerhouse stations that had been here since the 50s and the 60s. Legendary TV stations. So here we are, this little new kid on the block. So we had to have a fighting spirit, and we had to do things differently and to stand out. And 16 years later, we have gone from nobody really knowing who we are, fighting spirit, and we still have that fighting spirit, but now we are doing dang good, and we're very equal with those other 2 big market competitors now.
Yeah.
which is a great place to be in.
And I always say to competitors, like, yeah, we use the term, but we still talk to the people.
We still talk to the people.
You know,
Yeah.
they're lovely.
Yeah.
So
they're fine.
I
still want to kick their, you know what, but we're buddies.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the nature of the business
Yeah.
too. When you think about it overall, I will say, since we launched, WMBF News has changed a lot because back then, what were you responsible for as far as your forecast goes?
When I started here, I was just doing Saturday and Sunday evenings. That was the only newscast I did. And that was even when Facebook was just kind of taking off a little bit.
Yeah.
There was no Twitter. It was so easy looking back on it. You know, 16 years ago, you didn't have the things you do now. Like, you know, a severe thunderstorm pops up now, and it's like, okay, well, you got to go live on the web and do an app push and get it on social media and follow it up on Twitter. And, you know, it turns into keeping you busy. 16 years ago, whatever. Not a big deal. It's crazy how much you have to do now.
Yeah. And it's changing even more.
And it's changing even more. Yeah.
I can't keep up with TikTok and Insta and all the stuff that's out. And I'm just like, please, is this the next phase?
Yeah. Yep.
I figured out
Too
Twitter.
much. Yeah. I've finally got Twitter figured out. Yeah. And yeah.
It's crazy. They said we're almost out of time.
Really? So fun story. Not a fun story, but when we launched on August 8, 2008, I think there were 86, 90 maybe employees here. Of those, there are 3 of us left of the original crew.
That's awesome.
Just 3 of us. Myself, Katrina, and George Hansen, our chief photographer. Yeah, we're the only
Who's
3
going to be
left.
the last one here?
Probably George. I joke that I'll die first. The running joke is I'm going to kill over probably during the middle of a hurricane. Just right at the desk. Just go right over. And Katrina will outlast everybody because she drinks so much. Love you, Katrina. Yeah.
George.
It'll be George.
Great guy.
It'll be
Katrina.
George. Yeah,
Great
Katrina will
person as well.
retire to go have fun. I'll die. And George, you know, who I think we're about the same age as me, but like healthy as a horse and runs every day. And yeah, he'll outlast all of us.
History of WMBF News.
I feel like we missed so much and we're already out of time.
I know. I thought about that too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let me tell this one more time. The wildfire, our first year was insane. Absolutely insane first year. We launched in 2008. All this money coming into a brand new station. What happens? The economy totally tanks. So advertising is down, and we're having to struggle even more. Within a year, we have the second largest wildfire in South Carolina history right here in Myrtle Beach. 30,000 acres burns. We're on national news. 100 houses burn. Insanity. Big local news stories. It was a wild first year. It was so wild.
Especially with a big magnitude event like that.
Yeah.
Let alone
yeah.
for a news station.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
absolutely insane.
And I worked at a starter station. Starter stations aren't easy.
No.
So to be where we are today is
I know.
a compliment of your work and everybody else's work.
Everybody else, yeah. You know me, I work as least amount as possible.
Hopefully that enticed some questions from people.
Yeah, I know. We missed so much. I can't believe how fast time goes by on this. So, yeah, I know I glossed over a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of people are probably new and didn't really know anything. A lot of people may be listening, have been with us from the beginning. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stories, and I know we missed some people as well. So,
well, and maybe you'll be thinking about someone that you missed too. That does it for episode 4.
Yeah.
We may eventually have to figure out if we can go longer on
we
these.
may have to go longer. Let us know if you want us to go longer.
Yeah, if 30 minutes is too short, let us know.
It feels too short for me.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Are you serious? Weather conversation, you and us. I think next we're going to bring on the weather team.
Weather team, yeah. We're going to get to know the rest of us.
The rest of us.
The rest of us. The good, the bad,
Are you
the ugly.
serious? And the rest of us.
Are you serious?
All right.
Thanks, y'all.